So giving a kickstart to today's session. So welcome everyone. We are in the very first day of IOSH MS training. This course is specially designed by the high professional, those who are very experienced for more than 30 to 40 years. They have been giving their most of their time for health and safety and the practices. And the course is one of the world's most sought after course, that is IOSH MS. Now, DB HSE International is the name of our training provider. I hope those who are our registered participants, they all are aware of us. And those who are attending for the very first time, it is to inform you all that I welcome you all to the fifth year stepping accredited center of IOSH with DB HSE. It means we are stepping into fifth year. This is our fifth year with IOSH as an approved training provider. And I hope that with the supports and the grace of Almighty, we will reach more participants and we can deliver training to every corner of the world. With that being said, we have trained more than thousands of professionals only for IOSH MS from 60 to 70 countries. My name is Debjyoti Biswas. I'm the CEO and founder of DB HSE International. Also, I am the approved tutor for the courses, examiner, and author. And also, we have our tutor, the respected person who will take care of your journey of IOSH MS to the greater heights. With his leadership, Dr. Santos, he will be conducting the entire session from module number 1 to module number 7. But today, Dr. Santos really requested that, so why don't you come up for the training? And I said, let me take my first session with Dr. Santos. So today we will be completing module number 1, module number 2, and we'll try to touch base with module number 3. But before we do that, we would love to hear from you. If you are attending the session for the very first time, please feel free to introduce about yourself. We really want you all to interact because this will be an interactive and engaging session. Engaging means you all need to write with us when we ask you any question. It is to inform you all that during the training, I will ask you to immediately chat with us on the chat box to answer your question. There is no marks, no competition. It's going to be a very familiar and healthier quiz competition in between all of us. We will have the immediate answer in terms of response on the screen, and it will definitely trigger your mind to know more knowledge about health and safety. And also, this is to inform you all that throughout the journey, we will have 4 to 5 days of session. In the session, once we complete a day, on the next day, we will give you a mock assessment so that you all can go through the details that we have discussed, and we will give you a little bit home task, which will hardly take 10 minutes from your 24 hours. So we wish you the best with DB HSE. Those who have already registered, I welcome you again, and those who will be registering, good luck with our training from now. Dr. Santos, before I proceed, I really want to have your words. This is going to be your batch. You are the master and the leader for this batch. Please make sure you enlighten all of them, and I am sure that you will do more than what I expect. So, can I have your word and give some motivation to the learners for the day?
Hello team, thank you sir for introducing me. As of now, as you know, we trained more than, I am not remembering the exact count. We trained thousands of peoples across the globe. We are from India and, we are into training. We want to educate you people. Okay. You people are from different background and most of you are working in the safety section or in the safety department. See, as a EHS professional or safety professional, it is our responsibility to protect the people and environment. Correct? When there is a catastrophic accident, there will be a pollution as well as fatalities, everything are associated with any kind of catastrophic accidents. It is our responsibility to protect nature and also human being or the workers who are employed in the organization. Okay, this is first thing just I want to communicate to you. And in our experience, we have seen some people, those who are trained from us, they are giving trainings in the companies. Okay, for their workers, they are introducing the safety concepts and they are building strong safety culture. Okay, you people are working in the safety section, but still some of the concepts may not be aware. Okay, that's the reason when you interact with us, when you learn the contents from us, definitely it will boost your career, it will boost your knowledge and confidence. Okay, so all the very best to you, and over to CEO sir. Let's have a smooth journey today. Our respected CEO sir will interact with you, and from the next class onwards, I'll take care of the other modules. Let us interact. Let us have a fruitful conversation in future, team. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to interact with you.
Amazing, sir. Amazing, amazing facts you have shared with us. Thank you so much, Dr. Santos. Thank you, everybody. And I think this is the time that we all should focus on learning more. This is to inform you. Please make sure that you will be attending the session with a pen and paper, or if you want to be more smart, then you can please use your notepad while attending the session, or if you want to share your knowledge and insights from the session, immediately you can type on the chat box and you can drop your comments and you can save it for the future, or the group that you are in with the DB HSE WhatsApp. So you can immediately write on the WhatsApp group so that you can engage the other who have not attended the session. All right. So giving a start, before I start, I want to get a reaction from you all. I hope you all are excited, you all are ready, and my voice and the screen is very much clear and visible. Can I get a thumbs up reactions from you all before I give a start to this training? Perfect. I guess we are. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, covering up the first thing is that what you will learn and what you need to do. I really want you all need to be very much engaging in the group, because we will just ask 10 to 15 minutes from your precious 24 hours of time for one day. In the group, we will have a lot of things, and we need you to submit your response within one day. So the work that we will give it to you, it will take, I guess, 10 minutes to complete it. And please do make sure that you are really helping us to help you, right? So we all know that there is a big risk if you do not take a risk. So this risk of studying must be there with you. The modules are really going to support the understanding of a basic health and safety to the pro level. Why? Because we are very smart. That is, we are specific, measurable, achievable, reasonable, and in the time bound. While we discuss about we being smart, we need to know that if we need something more, it takes a second to browse from the internet and get all the content. Why I ask you all to do it? This should be a best practice for you to gain more knowledge. You cannot gain enough knowledge if you just believe and go through the book only. You will get a lot of different queries in your mind that you need to solve by yourself. Do not wait for anyone else to help you, but immediately search in the search engine and get those details, because it will help your learning. 7 to 10 years ago, we didn't have this facility that what we do not know, we can get it immediate effect. But we have now, right? So if you get anything which is confusing, do not wait until someone tells you, but do research immediately. So the IOSH MS, there are 7 modules, starting with introducing managing safely. The module 2 is all about assessing risk. Module 3 is controlling risk. So if you go for module 1, 2, and 3, this section is going to give you a tremendous knowledge that why we need health and safety, and most importantly, when you have to present any sort of presentation in front of 1,000 or 10 board members, and you are the director of health and safety, or you are the safety officer for the company, your work is the same, to make sure that you being accountable and responsible for health and safety for this particular project, how you can convince every one of them sitting in the boardroom that this is important, right? With that being said, when you first go through the module number 1, which is introducing managing safely, it not only help you to immediately deliver an answer for a question that why do we need health and safety, but also it will help you to prepare amazing and with full of convincing points for health and safety practitioner, and why you need to upgrade health and safety standards in your company. So it will also help you being a manager, officer, supervisor, or director to write a very explanatory report. Model number 2 will help you to assess risk. First of all, module 2 will help you immediately, wherever you are in, you can start assessing risk. That is the level of study and the merit that we need to have. If you are hearing me speaking about how you can assess risk, it should heat your mind and you should start assessing risk, whatever is there in front of you. That's how a professional starts a practice. And when you will go tomorrow in your workplace, remember, gentlemen and the ladies, if there are any, whatever we will discuss today, I am giving you this assurance that tomorrow when you will step into your workplace, all these terms and discussion will keep on knocking at the ear door. And I really want you to demonstrate the same amount of knowledge that you have heard from us. Model 3 then will give you a help that if this is the risk, then how you can help. What sort of precaution or anything changes, alteration, or introduction you need to make to help this thing out. So model number 1, 2, and 3 will give you a basic practice to understand health and safety, its requirement, how to convince others with the reason, and also it helps you to assess risk and also what sort of control measure we need to assess the risk. Starting up with the module number 1, introducing managing safely. Now, from this module, you will learn about why is it important to manage safely and what is your role in influencing managing safely. To the respected safety professionals, I really want you to understand, the moment you are paying or giving your best effort and time to attain the course, you should make sure from now you are becoming a more upgraded health and safety professional. From today, this is the 1:45 p.m. GMT. From this time, you should be becoming more advanced safety officer, manager, director. Then you are giving a best worthy to this time. Because now you are going to know about something which is very important, that why we manage health and safety. If I ask you this question, it should be very easy for all of you to answer based on your knowledge, experience. But if we need to hear from you in a very accurate manner, so that any individual from top to bottom, and it means if there is a layman or a person who doesn't understand about this, he or she will immediately grab what you are asking for. So why do we manage health and safety? Interesting, right? We manage health and safety because, my God, we can see there is an ambulance. Why? Why there is an ambulance? Why we need ambulance? Because when there is someone who met with an accident, or someone who is sick, or someone who needs a bad hospitalization. So this vehicle helps the affected, infected, or people who met with an accident to reach to the hospital, that is an ambulance. But it is okay to have many ambulance and ambulance is in active mode every day? No, right? Second thing, if we talk about these people, why? Why a person should see his friend or his colleague with whom they were working together because of the company's unsafe activity or the poor leadership or very poor supervision from the safety officer, which doesn't allow the company to take action because the report of the safety officer was too poor with information, that the safety officer miss main hazards and risk main hazard and risk. And this is how the friend of mine or the colleagues who were working together, he met with an accident and now he's in the hospital. If we think about this, we need to understand the psychosocial power as well. If something happens in a group, every human souls get trapped into misery. What will happen with me if I would have been there? I would have been the same victim of this accident. Now I am the witness. Second thing, if we talk about, if this thing happens, we are aware there is something called enforcement law, an enforcement agency, those who takes care of the breaches. Now, this is the responsibility of a company to have health and safety. Do we know that there are some legal regulations for health and safety? In every country, there is their own governing law. With that being said, we also understood that if this thing happened, company may face some prosecution, some interaction with the enforcement authority, and it may lead to the legal action. Now, apart from all of it, when the family of those victims get to know that his family person is now in the hospital, what sort of feeling does it work when the family member hears about his or her son or father or husband is now in the hospital just because, until it proven, just because someone's lack of knowledge, someone's lack of leadership, someone's lack of consequences. Apart from all of it, we also get questioned. By whom? By the insurers, by the lawyers, by the court, the company, the owner of the company. Then he or she needs to give more time to solve it out, or else the entire company can get collapsed, entire company can get banned. If we also talk about the contract deals, do you really think, if I will never wish to have this, but if an institute gets a very bad remark for any sort of reason, we as a human being will do first thing, oh, I should not even look at their website, they're doing fake thing. Even for 1% of bad action, the 100% goodwill can go within a snap of finger. And that's how the nature is. And that this is the nature of the life, or you can say the law of life, where you do not have any control in it. So there is also something called reputation. And when you have a good reputation, apart from professional life, even in your personal life, humans also come to you when you have a good rapport. When you are a good person, when you are known as a good speaker or a person who talk well, and he's a very nice person or she's a nice woman, then people also come to you for interaction. But if you have a very bad image, then nobody comes to you. Same thing happened in professional life. Now, if for one safety officer, if for one engineer and another worker get injured, and the entire company has to face questions from the medias, what is the work of the CEO then? CEO should not come and work on it, right? So managing safely, if CEO or the company or even the worker or the safety people, if they do not introduce managing safely properly among their area, every individual working with anything, if they're not aware of managing safely, the CEO, for one person mistake, he has to suffer. And that's the privilege of working as a safety professional, where 1 inch of gap can create a breach of devastation. Apart from all of it, what do we understand? So there is a film, and I think I should not play it because we do not have time. A film by IOSH. Uh, they have uh, from WalkSafe BC, but we do not have time. It's going to be played for 10 minutes, but I'm sure that to the registered participant, we will share the video with you. All right? I'm not playing that. It's going to take too many time. So what do we understand? We understood that a person who met with an accident, his people or the fellow people around, they got a very bad moral. Their moral, morale, got down, seeing his colleague going to the hospital. Not only uh, the witnessers, but also the people who heard from the different project, their moral will also go down, that in the same company, people are dying. On the other hand, we also talk about that if this thing happen, the vehicle ambulance will take them to the hospital. And if anything happens inside the company's premises, and the people are the responsible until the investigation is done, hook or crook, company has to pay the compensation, vehicle costs, hospitalization costs. And also we have seen that the company is also facing some legal issues, prosecution from the enforcement agency. Company is there in the court, they need to justify that they are not doing the wrong thing. So not managing safely gives them so many issues. So we have sorted in a 3 reason, instead of saying blah blah so many, trying to explain a simple thing in so many ways. If we are not having a proper knowledge, if I didn't know about these 3 reasons, I could have explained in a different way. But now, after IOSH MS, you do have a well worthy time. You value TMC, sorry, you value TIM. Time is money. And that's how you shorten up the time of explaining the reasons to manage safely in just 3 seconds. That is legal, moral, legal, and financial. Wow, isn't it so nice? Because we have got 3 seconds to answer the question, why do we need health and safety? Because there are 3 reasons: moral, legal, financial. If you want to give me any sort of other explanation, I can categorize it under 3 sections. Anything that happens without health and safety will fall under these 3 reasons to manage health and safety: moral, legal, and financial, right? So when we talk about moral, when we talk about legal, and also when we talk about financial, we need to understand that it is us who has to speak also, not to pass the exam and get the certificate, but also at the end of the day, you need to talk. You need to speak to your managers. You want to get more high paid jobs. You want to work in Europe, you want to work in Australia, want to work in your own country with a high paid salary. But you need to know, you need to have the wisdom, right? Certificates will help you to get the interview, but not the job. So what about the wisdom? How the wisdom comes? Through training with DB HSE? Somewhat like it. We're going for now, we're going more deeper. What is your role? Who are you? Why you're getting paid for? Follow the checklist, give a good TBT talk, identify what people are doing, checking out whether they have wore the PPE properly or not, or what? What is your role? Whatever company will give you to work, you will do the same. I want to ask you, if you do not put your own efforts, then you are working as an AI, because you're following what the commanders is asking, and you are doing the same thing. Where do you make a difference? My question is, if I see something wrong and I can prove it with moral, legal, and financial reason, why will I keep on looking at it? This is the job of safety professional. Now, the role is you are in the front line of safety. Ladies and gentlemen, SAFETY, stay alert for every task you do. We have to add do, or else you cannot understand. The meaning of the line will be compromised. But what do we understand by the term safety? What is safety? Safety is a condition that provides freedom from hazard, risk, and danger or damage of property or loss of reputation, right? So when company is in safety, it means legally company doesn't have any claims. Morally, everybody is working nice. There is no frustration, depression, misery. Everybody is like happily working. And also financially safe. It means company does not need to give unnecessary compensation, worker payday, vehicle cost, medical cost, etc. Who are those who will take care of this? We are the one who will take care of the company. Now, if you think about your job, if you think about your salary, we are in certain profession. The profession that you chose is just not to get the salary. This is what we are here to make a difference, because you are responsible for making decisions. If company doesn't give you that role in the checklist, and if you know that this is going wrong, you need to revise the checklist. You are not an AI, but you are HI. You have human intelligence, not the artificial one, right? You are responsible for making decisions about local safety practice, and you have to influence a safety culture, because the CEO of the company doesn't complete IOSH MS course, but he trusts you and the reputation that this course has built up in so many years, right? If you have the proper knowledge to being a responsible one, your worker will become an accountable one. How crazy is that? It means when people doesn't believe in the title, but they go beyond than their work, employees become employers. Employers become employee. They start considering that I'm a worker. The way I completely consider myself as a worker of DB HSE and those who are trusting me. So we are responsible for it. So what did we understand? We understood that we are responsible for making decisions. Now, who can make decision? A person who is well knowledgeable, well educated on this particular subject, or only he or she can start making decisions, right? Now, what about the local safety practices? Local safety practices means whatever is happening. Whatever knowledge your safety director has, you can have better than him. And he will absolutely not backstab you if you help him to upgrade more. Because we have also one thing, a manager, oh, I'm just going like a movie. Because a manager can assign responsibility, but manager cannot give away accountability. The manager is ultimately accountable. Let us first understand what is responsibility. Responsibility means you are you have been asked to follow and achieve the objectives. So your responsibility are these to achieve the objectives, correct? But who will give you this feeling that this is my role? This is my responsibility. When you accept, it takes time. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen quickly. It takes time. It depends on how much matured you are in this particular understanding role of responsibility. But I want to tell you all, do not become responsible for the greater growth and to save people. The profession that you are in doesn't ask you to become only responsible. Whoever works for anyone associated with them, they are not just for responsibility, but every one of us are for accountabilities as well, because when you accept your responsibility, you are owning the work. You are taking a full ownership to achieve the objective. And that's what accountability comes. When you accept the responsibilities of yourself, you become ultimately accountable. So, accountability means when you accept and take the ownership of your responsibility. I'm giving you an example. Let's say, let's say you are the manager and you ask me to supervise area 1, where workers are working, welders are also there, some scaffolders are also there, some scaffolding works are going on, and some cleaners, etc. Right. Now, what is my work? You give me a checklist. Being a manager, you give me a checklist and you ask me that identify the issues and write down there and tick the box if you have completed the task. While doing such, what is your responsibility is to follow what he says. But when you saw something which is not mentioned in the checklist, when you saw something which is more terrible happening and that is not even known to the manager, what is your job? Since you accept your responsibility, you are accountable, and you will definitely include all the things which are beyond the checklist. In a nutshell, a person works beyond the checklist and take the ownership of the entire section 1 area. He is an accountable one. So that's the accountability means. Ladies and gentlemen, I really want you all to influence your friends, influence your people with whom you are working, and especially the workers to become accountable, right? You are the front line of their safety. If you don't talk, then who will? So this course will help you to identify your responsibility and accountability. Now, if I ask you to think, what are your daily jobs? First, you need to step in, you need to show your ID card, or even in a big company, your face scanner will speak everything. Or in Mobig, there are so many ways to do this screening and security. Then you need to punch up, then you need to go to the office, follow the job, whatever list has been given, go for the toolbox training, where again you have seen, you will see actually so many workers are doing the same thing. They're not in appropriate discipline. What you want is people to be disciplined, like a school assembly point, like a school prayer. But unfortunately, the workers are not like the school days. They are now matured learners. So, and sadly, the discipline and the manner is not that been exposed to them. Now, whose responsibility is to tell them what about their responsibility and their accountability? To the HSE professional, I want to tell you, tomorrow when you step in, you make sure you introduce this concept that you need to take your responsibility as your accountability. Then you are keeping yourself safe and the others, right? So we need to know that if these are my responsibility, these are also my accountability. No compromisation, because this is professional world. Every action, in order to have the fruitful outcome, the time requires you to revise the formula and to amend a new formula to hit the line and get the outcome. Sometimes it's very experimental and we all get depressed, but I want to tell you that this is what we need to know, our responsibility. When you understand, you being the safety officer, safety manager, what are your responsibilities? Google it, know more about it. because a course cannot educate you unless you educate yourself, right? Next part is you will know when to act. Like now, we talk about maturity, right? What is maturity? It's not like if you are aging 70 or 60, you are very much matured than those who are 40. Even Mark Zuckerberg, in his age of 21, he founded, I think, Facebook, right? 21 years. He founded Facebook. But he was not elder than those who are working for him. So maturity comes with the level of experience and how many times you are accepting those challenges and turning that to numerous possibilities for yourself and for the others. While keep on doing this, you are becoming more mature on that particular subject. It can come to anything. So maturity depends on what subject is it. We can't say you are very mature, no, because it depends. We're talking about the competency, right? So maturity and competency hits when you keep on practicing and leveraging your skills, such as communication, reading skills, very important team. Reading skills nowadays is very important because I don't want you to be a basic safety officer, get your monthly salary and you just live the life. But you can do more better because we can show you the world better with more resources, and you can be a champion of yourself. Because if you keep on changing your way of activities and mind, you are also encouraging the others to think in that way. So you know when to act when you are knowledgeable, and you know when not to when you are knowledgeable. And being a knowledgeable guy, it doesn't matter. You also need to practice. You need to fail in order to get success. And once you start getting the success, it means you know when to talk and when not to. You're becoming matured and competent in that particular subject, right? So this course will definitely help you to know when to act and when not to. But not this course only will help you. Not Dr. Santos will only help you. Not you can only help yourself, but you need to know more things which are related with this. Terrible and tremendous opportunities are there. I use terrible also because when you do not focus on learning, you're making your career terrible. Why? Your juniors will become seniors within a month and you will not feel good for this. Next thing, you know whether it is an issue needs your attention. Now, when you know the formula, when you know the chart, when you know the workflow, you don't depend on when you need to act. You know that this is not the time for you to speak, but the others to realize. Workers always look for giving a blame to the others, but they don't look at what they did. Whose accountability is to make them understand that they have not done something great, but it is their fault and they need to admit it and they should not change it. So this course will definitely help you with the terms and so many process. You will know when it is your attention. And if something is not under your leadership, you can also legally prove that you are not accountable for it, but the CEO of the company or the others. So this course will definitely help you. Now I have some quiz for you. Before I jump into the quiz, I just want to inform you that we have completed module 1. How was the journey? How was it? How was the module 1? What did you learn from it? Can I have your, I just want to stop sharing the screen for a moment. So we have 42 members here. So looking into it, and I will start this again. Just a second. Right. Okay. So everyone, it's going to be a quick. Keep your hands ready on the keyboard or on the mobile, right? Because I'll give you 10 seconds. You just need to write on the chat box. Okay. We are going for one demo. We have 10 quiz, and I really want everyone to buckle up and get ready for the quiz system. Now, the first thing is I'll show you how we will work together. So this is the question. I'll read the question. Globally, approximately, what do you think? Like, how many people die every year from a work-related accident or disease? And remember, my purpose of discussing the quiz here on screen, it will trigger you to think more about you being safety officer. What are you doing? And also, I will think about I being a teacher of safety courses, what I am doing if I cannot, uh, if I cannot help in decrease the rates every year. All right. So then there will be a question comes. So we will give you some option, 5 to 6 million, 1.5 million, or 2.3 million. What do you think? Which one will be the correct answer for you? What do you think? How many people are approximately die every year from a work-related accident? So you just all need to type quickly, all right, on the chat box, so that, and after 10 seconds, I'll give the answer so that you all can understand whether you were correct or not. So the time starts now. Okay, end up. Now the answer is 2.3 million people die every year from a work-related accident. That's so sad. Think about it. The universe, sorry, not the universe, the earth loses 2.3 million people. It can be more, just in an average, because we know, right? Maximum fatalities are not reported. So it's very sad, but this is the truth. So we need to understand, and we need to get really focused on something is going wrong, and we need to help us and help others. The next quiz question. So approximately how many fatal accidents occur each year on construction sites around the world? The options are 60,000, 48,000, and 25,000. Your time starts now for the answer. All right. And the answer is, check whether you are the winner or not. And the answer is 60,000. So those who have written 60,000, you are correct. Next. Across the world, how many people die from work-related cancer, my lord, each year? Across the world, how many people die from work-related cancer each year? And the options are 275,000, 556,000, 666,000. And your time starts now. And the answer is 666,000. Okay. The next question. In Europe alone, what do you think? How many cancer deaths are linked to occupational diesel exhaust exposure? And the options are 2,500, 3,500, and 4,500. Sorry, I already disclosed the answer, that the answer would be 4,500. Next, how many lives will asbestos have claimed globally before it's fully controlled? How many lives will asbestos have claimed globally before it's fully controlled? Now the options are 15 million, 10 million, and 5 million. Your time starts now. And the answer is 10 million lives. Next, which of the following does the ILO say is key to tackling the growing number of work-related disease? Which of the following does the ILO say is key to tackling the growing number of work-related disease? Is that preventing them from occurring or finding a cure? It's a very interesting question. Reading the question once again, which of the following does the ILO say that this is the key to tackle the growing number of work-related disease? Is that prevent them from occurring, or you should find a cure? Your time starts now. And the answer is preventing them from occurring. Absolutely. If we do not know what sort of things are coming, how we should look for the cure. So yes, preventing them from occurring will be the answer. 7. Approximately, what is the percentage of workers worldwide that do not have any worker insurance to compensate them in the case of occupational disease and injuries? Your time starts now. And the answer is 70%. Those who have selected 80, that also appreciable. Organizations that establish worker safety programs can reduce injury and workplace illness caused by how much? Your time starts now. And the answer is 20 to 40%, my lord. Workplace health initiatives can help to reduce sick leave absenteeism by what percentage? Your time starts now. Thank you, people, for your obedient answer, and it's 27%. All right. What percentage of workplace accident could be prevented by good management? I know everybody knows this answer, I guess. Absolutely 70%. Thank you so much, everybody, for giving your time to drop the answer. Now we are jumping in to the module number 2. But managing health and safety gives us a helping hand with our other responsibilities, such as enhancing your reputation. Absolutely, team. Have we ever thought about that? An example I have given in our workshop, previous workshop that I conducted. An example was given by my side is that if you work very much accurately, and if you are the person, an individual who has less competency, who has less qualification and experience, but under your leadership, most of the people, and there are likely to be no hazards inside the place, and you're doing an amazing job. There is no accident, nothing. So you being the safety officer, your reputations are going up. And with that being said, do you really think it will be tough for you to get a job? People ask me, sir, it's too tough for me to get a job. But I think why it is tough to get a job when you have knowledge. If I am expert in creative, if I am expert in training, if I reach out to you with my voice, with my presentation, if you really like my way of making you understandable, will you not come to me for the training? Absolutely, yes. Now the competition is huge. You need to make a difference until you become famous. So when you work with your accountabilities on every of your responsibilities, you are increasing your reputation. You are increasing the profits. Through your profit, the company is increasing their profit. Your profit can be 1% of what you are giving profit to the company. It is reducing the wastage and insurance premium of the company, maintaining a happy and healthy workforce. So if there is everything nice, so when you enter to the mall, you feel like so nice, right? Like if you are entering to the Dubai mall, you feel like, wow. You will not feel like doing anything wrong. It depends on the environment where you are. It depends on the ambience. Now, man-made ambience requires huge amount of cost, but how you can make your workforce, the environment of the moral of your workforce, it is in your hand. Whether your team will be happy or your team, it means the workers under your leadership will work with low moral, it is in your hand. It is not in the hand of God. You cannot stop the earthquake, but you can evacuate the people from the area where the earthquake was occurred. You cannot change the nature, but you can save the people from any disaster. That's what you are. and and when people are happy when they are at work, it's because of you and your leadership and your happiness when you give to the people. Trust me, what team, your workers will be forever happy for you. I really want this thing. If you are entering to the workplace, you need to make such an environment. Everyone over there must bring up smile because you came in, because you entered to the workplace. Everyone should smile and they should have a hope that, my leader is here. They will not take care of the boss, but they will take care of you. By doing this, you are taking care of your boss because you are the representatives, right? So when you work and you work best, you really keep your business very healthy. And because of you, company will get numerous good outcomes. But never worry. If your company is not giving you what you need, if your company doesn't bother to know about what you have contributed, then God is there and He will take to the upper heights. But wherever you go, we as a safety professional, it is our duty to keep our business very healthy and safe by thinking about health and safety when planning work. Every time, health and safety. Nowadays, when I go to bed, I also assess risk. It's not funny or it's not a joke. It is a truth. And you will start doing it once you go more deeper into it. I start assessing everything. I start assess risk in everywhere because we work with it, and it does give me when to speak and when not to. This feeling. Now, talking about health and safety with your team every time, it's very important, and also demonstrating a very safe and healthy behavior. Coming to this point, behavior, I hope that you all maintain a very nice behavior with your workers, right? Because behavior is something which lies under your education. If you have degrees, but if your behavior is bad, no one will care, and people at the end of the day will not listen to you, and you are harming yours and the company's business. So our behavior must be gentle, polite, and if ever you see people are doing the repetitive thing again and again and again, never bother that they have not listened to you. Even we do not listen to people sometimes, and it is expected that they will not also listen to us. But what is your job? Not to get angry. They're not your family. They're not your partners. They're your workers who needs your help. And they do not understand why you are asking them to do this. So you need to repetitively keep on telling them this is the thing and this is not. So behavior must be like this. Never lose faith and hope, because like you being a human being, the workers are also human, and humans should be humans to each other. Coming to the model, remember, managing health and safety is an essential part of our job, not something we do in addition to our job. This is what we do for our job, right? Going for the next key learning points, what we have learned, why it is important to manage safely, and also the thing we need to do. Coming to this module number 2, before I step into module number 2, can I get some thumbs up? Are you all okay with the module number 1? All right, going for the next. Module number 2, assessing risk. In this module, we will get to know about what is risk, how you can assess, and how you can think, and how you should ask others to think. So in this module, it's very exciting because what is risk? Now we are coming to this point. I just want to read the chat. Okay, thumbs up, thank you. What is risk? What we see here a person is learning how to drive. Then we also see there is a person who cross across the road without waiting for the other, and you being the driver, you also need to be conscious that who is passing by and you need to brake. But what do we really mean by risk? Question. Also, let me give you an example. It's better to keep on getting the examples before you understand the definition. Since we are not in person, this sort of animation will definitely help you to understand. Another example for you, right? What do we see? The roof got damaged, cracked everywhere, most of the part. Outside, thundering, lightning. And because of the rain, you see the dripping water? The rainwater is dripping from the outside to the inside because there are damages and cracks. Now, we see the dripping water is obviously dripping on anything that is placed on the floor. We see there are some equipments. We see here table, and we also see that the floor is getting wet from the dripping rainwater. Oh my God! We can also see here that there are some stack of materials, right? And some materials are also getting damaged because of the rainwater. You see here on the right hand side of this material stack, the right hand side, the first row is very much wet. So what we can understand is getting damaged, right? It's very simple, very easy. To ensure a safe work environment, you need to understand the definition of risk. Whatever I said, we all can understand. It's very easy. But when it comes to understand what is risk, we need to understand that to define risk, we first need to take a look at the few basic terms, right? What is hazard? Hazard is anything that has the potential to cause harm. It can be bad behavior. It can be non-compliance of the standard. It can be bullying. It can be physical form of issues such as the equipment is not working well, sharp edges, hot water, cold water, chemical spills, potholes, anything. So anything that has the potential to cause harm, that is hazard. Okay. Now, when this hazard cause someone a terrible problem, the event is called hazardous event, right? So for a hazard to cause a harm, a hazardous event must happen. So the event from the hazard is called hazardous event. Okay. Now, what is it? So there's a sort of a hole on the walkway. A person is carrying a material, all right, and the person is coming from this place. Let us Watch again. A person did not look at did not look on the floor, and he just went through, and he's carrying because the vision being obstructed because he was carrying a heavy load. Because of the presence of this hole, he got tripped and he will fall, right? So this event is called hazardous event. Now let me just give you more explanation to this. You being the risk assessor, now forget about what we discussed. Now you are the risk assessor. Who is a risk assessor? A risk assessor is an individual who knows how to assess the risk and find out the possible chances of occurring, and also if this occurs, what will happen. It means the consequences. Now, what is likelihood? The likelihood is the chance that the hazardous event will occur. So if there is a presence of a hole on the pedestrian walkway or on the floor, there is a likelihood that someone will get tripped, correct? The event will be a hazardous event. Now, if he get tripped, what will happen? If he get tripped, he will have some consequences. Consequence means the outcome of the event. Now, it depends where he is tripping and on what he fell down. If there are some needles on the floor, and if he fell down on the needles, you understand the consequence? If there is some live electric wires, and if you fall on the live electric wires, you do understand the consequence? So consequence, as an assessor, you also need to understand, and you also need to write the report that if this happens, what are the possible outcomes from it? Being a risk assessor, you do not only find out the issue, but also you find out what type of issue people will have and the company if this event occurs. Now, if this guy get tripped and fell, the material, the load that the box he was carrying, it will fall down, so there will be a damage of anything that is inside the box, and he will get slip and fall injuries. It can be anything: head injury, leg injury, fracture, damage, dislocation, electrocution. It can be anything depending on what is there on the other side where he will fall. So a risk assessor, he will think, what is the chance that this thing will occur? Repeating it once again. You being a risk assessor, your job should be your first job is to, what is the likelihood that this hazardous event will occur? Okay? And on the other hand, you need to find out immediately that if this thing occurs, then what would be the consequences? It means if there is an individual, then individual can lead to death, can lead to hospitalization, can lead to absenteeism, can lead to several injuries, can lead to low in moral, can lead to compensation payment, can lead to enforcement, interaction and prosecution if he filed a case upon anything. So these are the legal reasons that why companies should have health and safety. It is legally breaching. If there is any unsafe condition, no one is allowed to enter unless the risk assessor or the safety officer comes, find out the issues and consequences, and then the control measures, and then people are allowed to work. So this is what we understood is risk is the combination of the likelihood of a hazardous event occurring and the consequence of the event. Repeating it once again, when you talk about risk, It means I am helping you to think in this way. And this is the only way to think when you are finding risk. Risk is not finding out the object, that is hazard. This object, if I throw at someone, the person will get hit and hurt. So this is potentially, it can cause harm to someone. But when you are the risk assessor, your job is not only to find the hazard, but also the risk. First, we identify the hazard, and then we identify, because of this hazard, what is the likelihood that this hazard will have any sort of hazardous event. And if this hazard has any sort of hazardous event possibility, then what could go wrong? What would be the consequence? So that is how risk assessment is being done, where you find out the both. That is, risk is equal to likelihood and consequence. How many of you have understood? Give me a thumbs up, please. And how many of you have not understood? How many of you have understood? How many of you need more clear clarification? I just want to know. Is there anyone who needs clarification once again about the definition of risk? If there is anyone who wants more clarification, I think it's more, why did I ask you? Because this is so easy. Repeating it once again, team, is very important for you to understand, because this is one time that we are discussing. We can discuss it in the next time, but I want you to start thinking from the next day. Do not wait until you complete the course and think. So tomorrow when you will step in and when you will find out risk, first, you cannot find out the risk if you have not spotted the hazard. So first, you have to start finding the hazard. Once you found the hazard, you know what sort of event it could lead to. Then when you talk about risk, you think about what is the chance that this hazard will create this problem. And if this hazard creates this problem, then what would be the outcome from this problem? So you think in two ways. Risk means what is the chances and possibility that this hazard will this hazard will lead to this event. And if that thing happens, what is the outcome? Okay, so this is how we understand risk. Let me just check. Understood. I thought risk is severity, and okay, severity is the another meaning of consequence, my respected member. This is the another word of consequence and severity. Also you can write outcomes. Instead of likelihood, you can also mention chances, right? And in terms of consequences, you can also write severity or outcomes. Same, but not different. Can probability? Absolutely, yes. Yeah, probability as well. Absolutely. So we all are like good enough to go with the next. This is what we have seen. Likelihood, it means you are identifying that whether the likelihood, we will talk more about quantitative risk assessment, because IOSH Managing Safely course gives you the most updated and the latest type of risk assessment, that is called quantitative risk assessment, which we do it with numbers. And this risk assessment that you see low, high, this is called qualitative risk assessment. We will have a word about it. So qualitative risk assessment means when you are just giving a rating of the risk in low, medium, high. And quantitative risk assessment means when you are rating with numerics, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Every number has its own meaning, right? Let me check the chat box. Thanks. Perfect. So I think I'm good to go. Now, you are the risk assessor, okay? What do you think in your mind? What we see here? We see there is a clock and it's about to ring 1 a.m. So it's a lunchtime. We see a canteen there. It means And and also we see a worker is mopping this large wet area. We also see this worker who is mopping outside the canteen can lead to a lot of things. Okay. Now, what could go wrong? What is the chance? What is the likelihood that people will come and get collision injury, slip and fall injury, can lead to head injury, can lead to collision collision injuries, such as if they're carrying something, it can fall down. It can be a group falling, right? Now, what are the hazards we can see here? What are the the problems? We see there's a clock, canteen there, and this guy is mopping the large wet area. Now, so this is how we find out the risk. All right. Now going for the next. What do we see here? A person. This is a wheelbarrow. A person is in rush. He has some material inside the wheelbarrow that he is carrying, and he is running with the wheelbarrow. Another side we see a person is looking at it and is saying, I am carrying the vertical post, and he's walking. Now the person who is rushing with the wheelbarrow is parallel to the person who is working with this vertical post. What could go wrong? What do you think? Very easy. So this is what we see. There can be a collision injury, a wheelbarrow can get damaged, or whatever is there, it can fall down, and both the person can get injuries, etc. Okay, are we going good with this sort of images? You do understand, right, what we are discussing? Everyone, please recap on about qualitative and quantitative risk assessment. We will definitely talk when we discuss the full 5 steps of risk assessment. Do not worry. Okay. Destruction of the wheelbarrow, absolutely. Property damage, yes. Next. What is this? An emergency IOSH, you can say, or an emergency safety sour station, safety sour. So here we see a triangular handle, which if you use that handle, the sour station will work. So if this sour station, if this is contaminated, instead of getting rid of the chemical spills, you will be exposed to the chemical spills. So this is one of the hazardous stuff where we can we need to check whether the pipe is okay or not, and whether the system is working perfectly or not. Next, it's very easy. We all can see there is a big hole on the roof panel. It can lead to raindrop water will go directly to the floor. Then if there is anything on the floor, then also it will help, right? Next is this. It's a gas boiler or any sort of heating system. Now I can see it's a 42 degrees Celsius. Now this is a pipe. From this pipe, if the pipe is leaked, then we see CO. CO gas is carbon monoxide gas. Now, if there is an emission of carbon monoxide gas around the place, people will be exposed to it. If that is in the higher concentration, people may die. It can lead to headache, dizziness, and etc., low of confidence, and so many, right? So this is how we assess risk. Now, to the person who was asking for risk assessment, what is risk assessment? A risk assessment is a careful examination of anything in your work environment that could cause injury or ill health. It's a very simple way of answering. In IOSH MS, you will not get to know about quantitative and qualitative risk assessment, because this is a level 6 study, qualitative and quantitative. But I want to show you that these were different approach. Qualitative risk assessment was the older approach, where in order to tell you the level of risk, they used to say low, medium, high. And now we don't say like, it doesn't depends on the perception, because it depends on the perception of the risk assessor, what he thinks or what he perceives or what he predict it to be low, medium, or high. But the next new generation of risk assessment, that is quantitative risk assessment, has a numeric, has a risk matrix. And on the module 3, it will be discussed by Doctor or by me. So a risk assessment is a very careful examination of anything in your work environment that could cause injury. Now, we will definitely, we will be discussing about the steps of risk assessment. Now, a risk assessment helps to protect you, okay? First of all, you, the workforce and the others, your business, and everyone around the premise. Because if you do not do the risk assessment properly, and if there can be a high likelihood to get anything exposed to the air, we have seen so many tragedies, right? Because of the company's failure, the neighbors got affected. So how are risk assessment carried out? So in a very nutshell, we need to first list the work task, then location, then people, then equipment, then activities, what they are doing. So when you are doing risk assessment, the 4 things you need to have in your mind is where you are, how many people are there, and what they are doing, and what are the equipments are. Okay. First, we need to identify the hazard. As I said, in risk assessment, you do not find the risk. Now, you can easily define anyone that why do you identify risk but not the risk? And you're talking about you're doing a risk assessment. Are you doing a hazard assessment? This is a question that I received when I was the trainee. My tutor asked me, why we are not identifying the risk? Then I didn't answer well. It took time, but now I'm telling you that it is very easiest answer in the world, because when you are doing risk assessment, risk is not an object, and you get problem from an object or from someone's activity, correct? So risk is not something that you tell. While doing risk assessment, the first thing is to spot the issue. Who or what and where? What is the hazard? So first we need to identify the hazard, because risk is not a thing, but the hazard is. And we get problems from a thing or from unsafe things or unsafe work environment, unsafe equipment, unsafe workforce also. If people are uneducated and working the way and showing blatant disregard of what you are saying, is also a sort of hazard. So that has the potential to cause others a harm. First, so that's why we first identify the hazard. So here, as you see, we have this mopping stuff, and there over there is a bucket. Here you see the vehicle, the ladder. What are the hazards identified? So what are the hazards? Then you need to estimate the risk. Now, if I tell you about you can only learn. After this, there is evaluation. So once you learn, you just learn, but you need to know how you can estimate the risk. This is what will be discussed on the module number 3. So you can understand, you need to consider 3 things. Who is at risk? How likely is it that something could go wrong? And the next, how serious would the outcome be? So when you are estimating the risk, just to give you a clarity, that first of all, you need to understand who is at risk. Okay, obviously, the people who is working and the people who are down. How likely is that thing something could go wrong? People, if the ladder is not mounted properly, 1:4, people, if the ladder is also like, if I will show you with the examples, if the ladder is, apart from mounting it properly, if the ladder is itself damaged, even if you mount it properly, nothing will work, people will fall. And how serious would be the outcome if there is, if the floor is uh, is filled with sponge, anyone falls from it, he will not get hurt, or a safety net, right? But you cannot expect your company to give you safety net when you are climbing on the ladder. And you cannot expect your company to give sponge for jumping if you are falling from the height. So you will fall from the height and you will just fall on the floor. And if there's something on the floor, it can be sharp, it can be dangerous, it can be contaminated, anything, you will be exposed to it. So that's how we estimate the risk. Now, likelihood. What is the likelihood? So yeah, a person can fall. This is one of the thing. So this ladder, do you think this ladder has mounted improperly? So the chance, so the likelihood of falling from the height is low because this ladder is mounted properly. Clear? Let's talk about this another ladder that I was talking about. If the ladder itself mounted properly, but it doesn't have the guard and it doesn't have the stand platform, and if it's broken, then the chances of falling will be sort of medium. But if the if the if the entire ladder is just like this, the likelihood of falling will be high. Correct? So this is how we do for the possession. What we are doing is qualitative risk assessment. Increasing likelihood. Now let's talk about consequence. So a person with this consequence is low, here is medium, and here is high, right? So increasing consequence. Now, what is risk? Risk is increasing likelihood from this side to the right, and it is going up, like talking about the consequence. Now, these are the blocks. Interesting. So this is called a risk matrix, where you spot 1, 2, 3, then again 1, 2, 3, then you go for, and if you ask me, how do you mention 3, 6, 9 or 3, 4, 6? You will understand through a risk matrix that we will have a word, right? Now, when you are evaluating the risk, it may be confusing for you, but now we have got you covered. This table will help you to understand that, this table will help you to understand that when we evaluate the risk, we need to come to a point that this is the thing and this is the answer. Now, you have estimated, like low, medium, high, you have estimated the risk. What are you doing to do about it? Now, what you will do, you told me that, yeah, there is a high likelihood that this thing will occur, but what is the next? What do we do now? If the answer that comes in between 1 or 2, let's say, if the likelihood and consequence gets multiplied with your predicted numbers, then the answer is whatever is the risk. Because what we know, risk is equal to likelihood into consequence. Okay. Now think about it. If the ladder is completely dismantled and if completely like destroyed, then what is the likelihood that a person will fall? It's very high. So the numeric will be 3, correct? Right? The numeric will be 3, 1, 2, 3. Low means 1, medium is 2, high means 3. So what is the likelihood of falling if the ladder is completely broken and damaged? 3. Okay, give me a thumbs up so that I can understand. It's 3 because it's high possibility that the person will fall from the height because the ladder is completely damaged. 3. Now, consequence. Now, what is the consequence that the person will have? Definitely, what is the whether the person will be affected or not? So obviously, if we are considering this situation that the ladder is completely damaged, so the consequence is also very high that he or she will definitely uh, will be exposed to some terrible thing. So the consequence is also high because the entire ladder is broken, right? So we give 3. Now the likelihood is 3, the consequence is 3. What would be the answer of R? What would be the answer of risk? Risk is equal to likelihood into consequence. So risk is equal to 3 into 3, and the answer is 9, correct? So in this situation, for this situation where the ladder is completely damaged and broken, the answer is, the risk is 9, right? Now look at it. It means when your answer came 9 for risk, what you need to do, you need to stop the work. So if the answer is coming in between this sort of calculation, you need to know that what you need to do. So let's say if we go back to the normal, condition, the ladder is appropriately good in condition and mounted correctly. What is the likelihood of following? 1. And the consequence, obviously nothing will happen. 1. So 1 is to 1, 1. So in that condition where the ladder is fine, the risk is coming 1. So what you need to do? Check the box. 1. If the answer is 1 and 2, you do not need to do any action. So here it is mentioned, if R is 1 or 2, the answer of the R after the calculation if 1 or 2, then you do not need to do anything. Now, if you think about the medium one, then you need to take some action, look to improve. But if the risk is coming in between 6 to 9, you need to stop the work. Okay, that's how we evaluate the risk, right? Next would be, now we go more deeper. The person who asked me about quantitative risk assessment, here is the thing. That is what we say quantitative risk assessment. Now, it was a very older approach from 1 to 3. Now, the issues are growing up. So we have the list and the table from 1 to 5. Now here, when likelihood is 1, very unlikely. Very unlikely means nothing will happen bad if the likelihood is 1. Because the likelihood 1 means there's very unlike 100% chances it won't happen. When likelihood is 2, like who gives this number? You. Whoever is doing the risk assessment, they give the number based on what they have seen. So depending on their assessment, it is the risk assessor who will use this numeric. It is not like something is fixed, but these are the calculation that you explore and you may include in your risk assessment. From 1 to 5, you can rate likelihood from 1 to 5. You can rate consequences from 1 to 5. So if you see, if likelihood 1 means 100% chance that this event will never occur. If likelihood 2 means unlikely, like 80% chances that it will never happen, but 20% it may happen. When the likelihood is 3, it means 50% chances fairly. When the likelihood is 4, it means 80% chances there that something will happen. And when the likelihood is 5, very likely, it means 100% chance that it will happen depending on the condition of the place, people, plant, okay, and the procedure. Now tell me, have you all understood this from 1 to 5? Easy, right? depending on the situation, instead of only 1, 2, 3 calculation, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with every meaning of it. Clear? Thank you, Chucks. Now we're going for the consequence. Now, if the consequence is 1, it means no injury. You can consider as nothing will happen, nothing. If the consequence is 2, minor. If the consequence is 3, moderate. If the consequence is 4, major. And if the consequence is 5, death. Giving you an example, okay? Very easy. Now think about there is a live wire. There is a live wire without double insulation. A live electrical wire is mounted on the corner of the room. Okay. So let's say a room, at the corner, there is a live wire. Okay. There's a live wire here, and this is the entire room. Here's a live wire. The room is properly illuminated, like there are so many lights. So there is no off vision. The vision is very nice. The room is appropriately, nicely house kept. It means housekeeping is very nice. Everything is nice, but there is a live wire. Now you have been asked to do the risk assessment. First thing is the hazard. What do you see? There is a live wire. Okay. Identify the hazard. You saw there is a live wire. The second step is estimate the risk. Okay. So what you are estimating, the likelihood and the consequence? High, low, or medium. Now the question is, if there is a live wire, what is the risk? Who will come and touch the live wire and get electric shock? We need to understand, right? Now you are estimating the risk. Okay. So there is a live wire. What is the likelihood? Now, how this live wire can be affected? Obviously, if somebody touch, it can be a wet hand or it can be in any hand. If he's wearing a rubber shoe or he's touching with a rubber or anything like that, many things will come up. Let's think about what is the risk. Someone will come and touch and get electric shock. The live wire has a risk of electrocution or electric shock. Okay. Now you are doing evaluating. Now, how much rating you will give in likelihood? What is the likelihood that a person or anything, or you can say in this way, what is the likelihood that the live wire will be prone to electrocution? I would say 1 or 2. Mine, like likelihood will be 1 or 2. Let us see the table of likelihood. Unlikely. There is very unlikely, like why people will come and touch the live wire when when the lighting is nice, everything. So how much you will give the likelihood? 1 or 2, anything, depending on your prediction. Let us give 2. Okay. The likelihood is 2. It means unlikely that that anyone will get electric shock from this particular event. Okay. Now, consequence. If someone touches the electric shock, what will happen? Obviously, we will go for 2 or 3, or we can go for 4. If there's a short live wire, it can go for 1 or 2, minor or insignificant. This is short live wire. Okay. A person will not die with a short wire if he has an active brain. We have the capacity to withdraw from that electric shock if the exposure of the wire is short. So the consequence can be insignificant or minor. So let us give 2. Consequence is 2 and the likelihood is 2. Okay. So R is equal to 2 into 2, 4. So R is equal to 4 now. If the R is in between 1 or 2, no action is required. If R is in between 3 or 6, 3 to 6, you need to monitor the workplace. If R is in between 8 to 12, action is required. If R is in between 15 to 16, urgent action is required. And if R is in between 20 to 25, we need to stop the work. Okay. So what about our answer? Our answer falls in 4. So this is called risk matrix. depending on your evaluation, you come up with the answer. And depending on this control, this is the sort of a measure that you need to take, control measure you need to take to fight and stop the work. It can be stop the work, it can be urgent action, it can be an action, monitor, or no action. You just need to learn for a better assessment where you talk with this table and you have a very good sense of evaluating the risk. Okay, this is how we evaluate the risk depending on the situation. So if the situation is like, if there is a wet flow, and if all the places, if there are live wires, so we go for 5 likelihood. And if they touch, they die, because there are wet floors, so many live wires. Even on the floor there is a wire, so people will die. 5 into 5 is equal to 25. It means according to the evaluation, the R is 25. So what is the measure we need to take? Stop the work. And you can show it to the management with this equation, with this matrix, and it's very easy to convey. So that's how we evaluate the risk. Did we understand? Can I have some thumbs up reaction, please? Did we understand this fact, how you can evaluate the risk? There are so many other ways to do it, but this is just a basic of it, because IOSH MS is not a bachelor or master level course, but this is what is the basic and most profound way of doing it. Now, you can go up to 10, no issues. So this is how we can follow it. Now, after that, the fourth step of risk assessment is to record the finding, whatever findings, allocation, activity, equipment being assessed, hazards and the risk levels, then existing and additional risk controls, then assessor details, then date and time, and I would say signature of the assessor and the people who are working there. And they should also give their consent that the risk assessment has been done properly, and review data as well. That's what we record in our findings. Now, after that, this last step of the risk assessment is to review. I would like you to go again on the risk assessment and risk matrix, is to review your findings. Mr. Samuel, since most of the participants have talked about that, they have understood, what I'm going to do is, just text me on my WhatsApp. I'm going to privately send you a link where I described about this risk matrix and risk assessment, so that it will save the time for now. It will help me to proceed to the other, since we have a shortage of time, and I can also help you in the other way. All right, get me back on the WhatsApp. I'll share you the link over there. I have described again, and you can just replay again and again until you understand, right? Thank you. Okay, my WhatsApp number, quickly I am dropping to the chat box. Okay, I'm so sorry, it's not the number. Just a second. Perfect. Now, the fifth step is to review the findings. So whatever findings you have, so when changes occur, personal, it means the people, equipment, or activity, we should review our risk assessment. Because if there is any introduction of new problems, new hazards on the same workplace, you can't just work with that risk assessment. And for me, every day should be risk assessment, even not formally, but informally as well. Every safety officer must, I think they always do risk assessment whenever they are at the place. Even it is not on paper, but it is their own activity. It is legal requirement to review risk assessment as well. All right. Next is basic rules to follow, everybody. Make sure your risk assessment is suitable and sufficient. Make sure that you have a better data, helps make better judgment. Involve the people it's likely to affect. Condition may vary from site to site, obviously. Consider dynamic risk assessment, the risk assessment that we have seen on the table. That's a dynamic one. So put the risk assessment into practice. How you can do that? Okay, so this is what a boardroom game we have for you. What I'm going to do is like after the session, I'm giving this picture to the group, okay? And I want you to answer and find out and do the risk assessment. Find out the risk. You can do risk assessment on every single activity. There are so many people over here. You can see a person is throwing a pen and keeping his legs on the table, which is not a good one, and watching something which is not official, then getting extreme sun rays. Then if this cups got fell down, he has a terrible work, uh, legal operations, then he is carrying a heavy load. Then she is stacking materials. She's lifting she's also stacking materials on height. So you need to do risk assessment on this picture. Not only one, I have another one for you. Oh, I will not show you now. I just want you to, I will give you this picture in the group, and I want everyone to work on it and to give us your findings. I will not show you. Yeah. If I show you, then you will understand. So team, we have completed module number 2, and what we did in module number 2 and module number 1 is very simple. We did an amazing job, and we learned all together. What we have is, I'm going to share you the quiz that we have discussed, and I'm going to share you the game, and I want you all to find the to work as a risk assessor on the photo and give me your findings. Okay. So before we end up, I really want you all to turn on your camera. We will have a great picture, and I will definitely upload that on my social network. But before we end up, we have many things to inform you that the classes are going really well. Dr. Santos will take care from the module number 3, and I hope that we are having session for 1 hour 48 minutes, which is quite nice. It's close to 2 hours. Thank you so much, everybody, because it's close to 2 hours. You all have stayed together. It's my fortunate that I am able to train you all, and I hope that most of you have liked it. So how do I turn on my camera, please? You see there is a camera option. You can just click on it, and you need to give the permission to the settings in order to turn on your camera. And also those who are interested now to get registered, you have our number. We are just a text away. You can reach out to any DB HSE admin, any associate, and you can have a word with them how the registration being followed up, the certificate duration and everything. So I'm going to take a picture with you all. If you all can just quickly turn on your camera within 5 to 6 seconds, I will just take a good picture. I'm really looking forward to it. And I hope we all can show this thumbs up reaction with a happy and smile on the face, and it will give me a good motivation for the next journey. All right, going for this photo. Can I have a smile and thumbs up, everybody, please? Ready? 1, 2, 3. One more. Perfect. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. That's so nice of you all, and I hope that you have liked it. I really want this smile not only for this session. When you go to your workplace tomorrow, bring this smile, and you need to make sure when you enter to the work premises, every one of your worker should smile and be happy because you have entered. And I hope that you can do it very soon. So thank you so much for this activity. We have already given you the dates of the next session. Follow up the next date. You all can again attend the session, and we are just a text away for your registration. All right. Thank you. Good night. Take care. Allah Hafiz. Good night. Hare Krishna. Take care. Bless you. God may bless you all. Thank you.